Well, salutations, kindred spirits. I'm live in the studio. This live, I'm right before the live, I'm thinking we don't even need to go live. I'm having a great magic show backstage with Aaron Fisher. I must have seen about 15 card tricks in the last 10 minutes. Hopefully, Aaron will share some of that with us today. Aaron Fisher, that's right. He's here to join us. Do you know Aaron? I don't know if you know Aaron like I do. He's been in my world for the better part of 25 years. Aaron, we're getting old. Maybe we'll talk about how we met, when we met, and maybe the evolution of magic through the last 25 years. I was going to also talk about what I've been up to the last few days, traveling through Texas, doing some lectures, and Lake Charles did some lectures. But I'm thinking, scrap all that. We've got too much to talk about with Aaron Fisher. Maybe before we get this started, I could share a little. Aaron said I could go online and pull something from like his Instagram or YouTube. What did I pull up here? Let's look at this here. Let's bring this on. Let me go back here. This is Aaron Fisher. I guess this would be circa, what did he publish this? 2000. The video is 2009. And this is Aaron's book. And what? That's the hardest card move that I've ever attempted to learn. Maybe second place to the clip shift, which is...
And the one-hand popover was the first idea I ever had that was both original and good.
And that would have been what, early 90s you published this?
For the first time, I'm going to reveal on this DVD
1 second
techniques, tips, and concepts that will allow you to not only learn this move in a much shorter time than you may think possible.
I don't want to have this thing just play. Let me pause this for a second. I did want to get a look at this technique, the one-hand pop over. It's kind of what put Aaron back on the map when I was a young card man and growing in the art. But if you look at this video that he produced in 2009, 13 years ago, you get a sense of the teaching quality that this man brings to the table. He knows not just how to do the moves, but how to present them in a video format and also how to teach it. He's been doing that for a while. We'll talk about that today as well. Let me see if there's one more thing I might share with you. I was going through his Instagram and looking at all his past work because that's what he's really known for is half passes, top card cover passes. And again, I was getting a whole little magic show. Maybe he'll show us some of this stuff live. Here is Aaron doing the half pass. Is this it? Maybe this isn't it. Maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll just get Aaron Fisher on here to talk about all this stuff live. I say we do that now. Let's see if he's ready. Hey, Aaron.
I totally wanted to see the half pass. It was going to look great.
It does look great. You know what I did, though, is I left the link to your Instagram in the description so they can go down there. I recommend that to all the viewers. Y'all just go through Aaron's Instagram and have a little magic show for yourself.
It never looks that great, to me, because I'm doing magic for people. Like there's a general rule where most of the time, unless you're looking in a mirror, if it looks great to you, it looks awful to anyone else,
Well, especially with some of the crazy, like, as you call the paper engine, it's tension in design. Like you are using balance and finesse quite often, as opposed to strength and brute force. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, it was at that time, I felt like it was all really hidden between the lines of Erdnase. You know what I mean? I felt like Stephen Minch said we should call it the gravity half pass, but
let's rewind. Let's rewind a little bit.
You're the boss. Yeah.
So you were doing these masterful passes at a young age. How does that even happen? Like, how does that happen for a young man?
Well,
in the what, 90s?
Well, first of all, and I think this is, as we head into this sort of 3M course where I'm always forced to reflect on the fact that there's a big difference between doing those things masterfully and having those things integrated into some kind of a magical experience. And so
Yep.
The short answer is, yeah, I traveled all over. I burnt the midnight oil. I missed my chance to get into some really good schools. All that stuff happened. There's no doubt about it. But the reward for that at that point was some really cool sleight of hand technique. But it wasn't anything that I would say from this place now was a finished magical experience. That takes a little bit of time.
What was the learning process for you to start developing the work? Was it books, mentors? Were there videos then?
Well, I guess like a lot of guys, I started with the books. I was told to get them out of the books.
And you listened. So few listened to that advice, but it's a good advice, right?
It was helpful. It's a start, but the truth is I didn't suspect. Just around the time I began to get the impression that there were people alive, there was a community. It's almost like an Anne Rice book. I felt like there was a secret community out there of people that really knew. And if I could find those people, then maybe they would help with these books. That was what
So this made a big difference for me, for sure. The mentors that I had in my life, as well as the other magicians. And I think when we were younger, we had easier access to these kind of groups. The Saturday at the magic shop, you might find the pros and the seasoned, students hanging out to learn from. Now we don't have as much of that. We do. Let's talk about this. I saw it. When did I see you? It was recent. I saw you at the Conjuror Community gathering. So these things are still happening. And that was, what, 3 weeks ago?
I first met Doug, right?
Yeah.
In 1997 or 8. It was a big magic convention in New Orleans.
Yep.
It was an old style magic convention, which most folks that get into magic these days are less familiar with that. And so I met you then at a magic.
Which, by the way, side note, they're coming back here next year. I'm expecting a recreation. We're going to party till 6 a.m. and see daylight.
It could be a really good thing.
I hope to see you here. Anyway, continue.
And FYI, I don't know about Doug, but I didn't have a registration to that event. Did you have a registration, or were we just hanging out?
Did I have a registration? I think I did. But not always, right? Like those conventions, sometimes you just had to go.
I met Nathan Kranzo down there that weekend. I met Adam Grace down there that weekend. I met Steve Reynolds down there that weekend. We had a lot of fun that weekend.
That was an understatement.
And we're reflecting on that because Doug was a special guest for us at our Conjuror Community CC Club Conjuror Community Summit just a couple weeks back in Tupelo, Mississippi, where I got to see Doug do street magic lecturing and just the most masterful close-up I've seen in an age. Did you have a good time at the summit?
I had a great time at the summit. I love nothing more than hanging out with kindred spirits, and it's something that's been missing from my life for a long time. And I've got a chance to do it a couple times this year, and yes, I had a great time. Real quick, let me answer this. It's in New Orleans. It's the Society of American Magicians. MagicSam.org, I think, is their website. That's the answer to that question. So let's talk about this. I mean, you're wearing your stuff. You got your shirt. You got your hat. I assume you want to talk about your Conjuror Community a little bit.
Well, this is the funny thing. When I met you and I didn't have a badge and registration to go to the big magic convention,
yep.
It's because, I remember connecting with you outside the convention, meeting you at a friend of a friend's, right? At the magic convention behind the magic convention. And
would that have been Warpo's back room?
That's what it was. That's where everyone was. And that's where we connected. And I felt like we became friends, really. At least it felt that way. And it was a really wonderful thing. But, I've discovered over the years that there's an awful lot of people who go to these magic conventions and always kind of feel like they're on the outside. They go to the events, or as one of my friends, Robert Battle, said to me, this is a really great convention. People will talk to you at this convention.
Yeah, I left the lobby at 4 a.m. on Saturday. So, I was one of those people talking to people.
Well, it's part of our thing. And I just sort of feel like in the old days, in a way, it was easier to get access to the guys who knew stuff. But in another way, it was harder. Sometimes they made it tough on you. Sometimes there was some bad.
When we were younger, the passing of the guard was guarded much more than it is these days.
And they give you a real hard time. And sometimes it would become real difficult and real personal and real weird. And I hate to say it, but, you know, as a person who's been a teacher at Magic Camp for years and stuff like that, you know, no one needs tears. Magic can be challenging enough to learn without having to deal with the ego of some mean old man who is trying to somehow get self-worth out of you feeling bad when you're trying to learn magic. It's a terrible, terrible thing. So based on those kinds of old experiences, I was really voted myself, my friends. We were not ever the kind of guys that felt like we wanted to start a magic club. We really,
yeah, you're right.
That wasn't the plan. We were the guys that didn't buy registrations to go to the big magic convention and hang with our friends near the magic convention.
Right.
You know, so that we weren't in that thing. But then, you know, going up to Sorcerer's Safari for years, Lee Asher connected me with Magic Mike Siegel and the wonderful gang up there. And that's a place where I really started to learn. You know,
Sorcerer's Safari is a magic camp, correct?
It's past now, but it was a week-long residential magic program where for the first time, you know, I'd taken the paper engine and my stuff and I'd lectured all around the world, as you know, but I hadn't really sat with like 14-year-olds. And
did you find that was inspiring to you to teach young minds and someone that's not jaded, you know, maybe
beyond? Because what I discovered was the past. You started by asking me about the past. I discovered that the past, which I had managed to skip a lot of other important life lessons, but really develop in a couple years, you know, ahead of the curve. But then I worked with people that I tried to teach before that seemed like it was almost never going to get there. But then all of a sudden, I'm working with these kids, these campers, many of whom are professional magicians today. Mark Clearview, Keith Brown, a lot of our campers, and maybe some are here right now. But those kids,
that's the coolest stuff. I love it.
Those kids taught me that if we met for 40 minutes a day, we have the Erdnays out. We would meet for 40 minutes a day during swim time after lunch. And in 5 days, those kids had the fundamental structure of a beautiful classic pass that would work.
I knew I should have gone to the Sorcerer's Safari. I knew I should have gone.
And Doug, I began to understand that if you take out a lot of that weird cultural stuff we had to put up with, and you just eliminate that, and you just give people without a lot of bad habits, without a lot of people's conflicting sort of voices, you just give good people the right instructions and the right tools and each other, and boom, it actually becomes a lot easier.
Right. Yep.
And so it was actually one of my online courses, our biggest one, the 3M program, which is actually coming up in the next couple of weeks. We just started the free course that sets that all into motion. But that first inaugural 3M class.
And when was that? When I recall you publishing videos on YouTube long. I'm interrupting my own question. Please tell me, when was
No, I mean, it's hard to remember even, but I think it's about 8-9 years ago. And the very first time, right after 3M, we created a continuing community for the 3M, the first 3M alums. And what ended up happening was that became Conjuror Community, that group. So Conjuror Community has been doing all kinds of things, and it's really a lot of people consider it to be the best magic community.
You know, it's really, and let me tell you this, and I'm going to be just, you know, honest about this. First of all, let me be fully honest about when you invited me on to do an event in 2017, I think it was. That really, that online event, without that event, I'm probably not sitting here today. So thank you for that. That was inspirational for me to reapproach this medium and be inspired about magic again on a small level. But beyond that, where was I, Aaron?
I think you were getting ready to talk about your evolution of look, because when we started the 3M class and CC, I always felt that a lot of my old magic friends were going to maybe raise their eyebrow a little bit and say, what's going on here? This is Some thought it was aggressive. Some thought, what kind of way to teach magic is this? What kind of promises are you making to people? And I feel like you maybe had some, reaction.
Thank you. And it's because, so looking from the outside after doing this event for a couple of years, I wondered, because your community is, number one, it has a price point. It's a little higher, right, than your average. And maybe this is not a direction you want me to go, but it does. And I was like, wow, what are people paying for? And I didn't really look at it closely until really the weeks leading up to the convention and being at the convention. And now I see so much value that you offer this community that you call yourself the world's greatest magic club. And I think you're right. And it's not the cheapest magic club, but these guys that get together every Monday night, the like we're talking about, these social events for the members that happen several times a week. You have unboxings and reviews, and the members do magic for each other. And then you offer lectures from professional magicians as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits at every sort of layer of the process. But for me, when the deals are there and there's like really great deals and there's CC cash, which ends up being,
Oh yeah, you're doing retail stuff now too, which we conversed about that. It's a break-even deal for you at the end of the day. You just offer it for your members, right?
We offer it for our members, and we offer the CC cash because really we just want to create member benefits, and we just want to have it almost feel like a member-owned experience. But really, what all that's for, Doug, is so that our members don't have to be wondering, if they're cash, because how magicians are
when you buy magic tricks in the modern age, it's like playing the lottery. It's nice to have a guiding hand. Hey, Irving, good to see you. First of all, brother.
Hey,
and if you look in the comments below, I got a link to the Conjurors Community. We'll keep talking about it as time goes on, but you can kind of get a beat on what it is. So yeah.
So he knows all about that stuff. But I think when we created it, there's a lot of sort of streaming services these days, magic streaming services, just like everyone, the Netflix of magic. Everyone wants to say they're the Netflix of magic. Conjuror Community is most definitely not the Netflix of magic. So I would say CC Club, our members, CC is more expensive than what you want to pay for a place to watch streaming videos. But what CC is an actual club where you get to connect with a wide range of magicians. You get to teach and learn from really world-class teachers and wonderfully good vibed communities, right? And it's a process we all share together. And we use the website as a place to contain our activities, except for the once a year when we meet at the summit, But it's different because I think when most people think, a monthly magic site, they figure they're paying for a sort of a streaming service.
The online interactivity is something that I've seen offered in various ways, but not like you're doing it. It's a strong offering.
I dare say that's what I end up hearing most often is exactly. I know that a lot of people use. It's funny. We do see a lot of folks use a lot of the words that we've used, and that can be sometimes a little bit strange. But I would say this. Let me see if I can find this for you. I recently wrote down a mission statement. Just to be clear, Conjuror Community Club started as an online training program with expert personal instruction and quickly evolved into a worldwide collective of dedicated magicians, creators, performers, renowned coaches, and lifelong students. So only CC Club provides the training and instruction within the most supportive and fun environment ever created for magicians. So our members say the positive, productive CC atmosphere transcends the traditional online experience and fosters personal connections that drive big wins and unforeseen opportunities. All welcome.
And this is one of the reasons we're chatting today. Did I cut you off too soon?
No, that's it though.
Yeah, I experienced this live exactly over the convention. You know, you did the members live show. That was a blast. It was a big party for all the friends, right? It's just, you know, there is a genuine bonding experience happen there.
And that's the part that at the very best old Magic clubs did happen. That was the thing that you got out of the great old Magic clubs, right? And that was the thing that when it wasn't in an old Magic club, it was the thing that made it, you know, it was missing, you know, but it didn't happen overnight. And I think a big reason that it happened at all was because of our members who you met. They really, you know, people are different than they were when we grew up. I think a lot of the guys in our age group, especially, getting to be adults, people don't have as much time as they used to for a social club. I think a lot of Magic clubs are social. I think these days grown-ups have jobs and responsibilities, and they need to make their avocation time with Magic, they need to make it count. You know, they need to be a rich and rewarding experience.
And if you can get some strong direction, and you were, you know, it's going to make that process that much easier.
That's right.
The club transitioned from your online teaching. That's what you said. So you were
That's right. I started teaching. Look, so years ago, the paper engine came out. That was 2002.
Hey, let's talk about that real quick, because I've had people ask. Here's what a question: will the paper engine ever be back in stock?
Isn't this interesting? I feel a question coming. I've heard a little controversy out there on the wind.
No, we're asking if it will ever be back in stock. I actually heard something from Steve Reynolds that indicated it might be. I don't want to talk about that if it's not appropriate.
Well, of course it will be. The problem is, we did a couple years ago, and this, if you think about it, this was, first of all, for all of, can people tell you here with a quick comment if they happen to be one of the folks that signed up?
Hey, folks in the chat, we're looking for input. If you signed up for the if you signed up for the Paper Engine 20th Anniversary Edition through our Kickstarter campaign that was happening just during COVID. We could talk about what this is too. You released a deck of cards that had ginormous success, correct? The Conjuror Community deck.
Thanks to our members, it funded.
Talk about this. What was this story?
In about 30 seconds. It was an amazing thing. It did very, very nicely. These are the CC Club decks. We had geniuses like Lee Asher help me sort of put together the deck of cards of our dreams. And it was packed with what I call my everyday carry custom configuration. But basically, this is the deck of cards, Doug, that I dreamed about having a long, long time. And more specifically, it's the deck of cards I dreamed about our members being able to have without having to pay what the premium price is when you get a deck of cards like this,
right?
In the modern environment. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, you know, special stock and finish, and it's much closer to a B finish. And I don't know if you got to handle any of these at the
you know, I don't. Your brother sent me a brick gratis, so thank you, Ethan.
Hey, that's pretty cool, right? And you'll notice that they are wonderful.
I do love the cards. I really enjoy a good classic style, and that I feel these are that. And then the alternatives that you offer is the toss-ins, like a red, blue, and the duplicate jokers and such. Yeah. And nice to have alternatives beyond this regular double backer set,
and we included just an ad card because, you know, I'm a big Chicago opener fan from way back, and with just one red blue double backer, you can do all kinds of incredible miracles, which I just think make it disproportionately the best all-around choice for what to do. But of course, if you want to keep it simple, you just take out a couple of the cards and you literally just have a beautiful deck with two jokers. You've got a wonderful classic back design, which, you know, we were the last deck that Bicycle allowed to have this art. They've only used this for like one re-release.
This is the power of having Lee Asher as an in, huh?
For a whist design that was released once, but this is from the original Bicycle group of designs. Lee picked out this incredible Joker which is a piece of art that also Bicycle owned. They gave us permission to use. So this, and look there, you see, I got to sign the Joker. That was a big treat for me. But you notice that it's a lovely deck, but it's not like it's got my face on the jacks or anything like that. It's meant to be a classical deck of cards, a deck of cards that.
Hey, Matthew Horowitz, I want you to email me conjure@conjure.com, and this unopened deck of Conjuror Communities is yours. Okay,
Boom.
Matthew,
it's coming to you.
We're giving away things live on the stream.
That's right.
You're welcome. You got to email me, brother.
We may even give away a panic later in the show too. What do you think?
I sense like maybe we can start talking about doing some tricks if you're going to start talking about panic, because I did ask if you would.
But here's the. I wanted to answer your question. I'm
happy. We were talking about the paper engine. That's with the deck. There was a thing. You got a bonus.
Here's the point. You know, when you're doing one of these Kickstarter things,
there you go.
It's like you're riding a tiger. Now, there'd been some plan for some time for me to do, and there'd been 2 or 3 different plans for how to approach it. But there'd been some plan for some time to do a special 20th anniversary of the paper engine, a special release, which would have involved a little new writing, not really meant to be a lot of new writing, but a little new writing, and an awful lot of care in putting it together. That was the idea. And in the midst of this Kickstarter promotion, there's an awful lot of ideas being thrown in the air and an awful lot of racing to the end, and you're in this game, and it's all very exciting. And at that point, it seemed like a very, very smart and good idea to make that offer.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you know, after COVID, the next 2 years, and even still, has been a crazy, crazy time. And I have found myself having a very difficult time this year getting the time to dig into the project. And so, you know, folks want updates and they deserve updates. And so recently I sent a very, very, I think, thorough update and an apology, frankly, because, you know, Doug, you've known me a long time. You know, my entire career is based on keeping my word and doing right by my students and participants. And,
you know, having you explain it like that makes total sense. You're doing new things, and you're doing things on a level that no one had done before. And I can certainly appreciate the enthusiasm of, sure, we'll offer this and this. I could do that. That sounds great. No problem. But then, you know, sometimes when we do new things, there's speed bumps, right?
That's right. And here's what I can say for sure is, I mean, it's all my responsibility, but I can cop to this part in particular. You know, I felt the paper engine, it's amazing. And we can talk about why, but I feel like the paper engine holds up very well.
You're absolutely right. That is a great book. It has a unique point of view and very strong. Very hard to imagine to say, okay, this is ready to add to this book now, right? Like, how do you make your baby more beautiful?
Well, this is exactly right. If I was going to write another book, I would write another book. But even so, I worked out a little plan whereby a couple new things could be added to this, a new approach to writing up the Gravity Half Pass, which would be quite a bit longer and really help people who want to learn it better. A full chapter, as silly as it sounds, on dealing position, which is 50-60%, just like when Steve teaches his zero.
I just love that. You know, today we're going to spend 3 hours on dealing position.
But
you hear this, viewers? If you're watching this is the level Aaron thinks on. Today we're going to talk about dealing position, because it's not enough just to put it there.
It's made me very unpopular. And so the point is, regardless of whether it's good or bad or sideways, I can't let it out until it's finished, because the book's already right.
Okay, but let's.
And so I've made the promise that next year I'm clearing the decks in the early part of the year to get the writing done, and we're going to start the updates again. And everyone,
for those that aren't in on this deal, will it be a commercial release available to the community? I'm assuming it will, huh?
Absolutely. Furthermore, I told all of the people who have pledged, and if their hearts are upset, that we're happy to give them back their money, and of course still offer it to them when it's done and ready. So the last thing we want is bad feelings. you know.
Well, I don't know how you could have bad feelings if you've offered that to folks. So
One
there's
person
the controversy. There's the where it's at, and you got a problem.
And
Well,
one person said, hey, what would really make it right is if you would make it right to me by giving me a free lifetime pass to the Conjuror Community.
yeah, okay.
And I was, well, it's wow. That's like, you're like my father.
We don't
It'd be hard
focus
to
on
make it right.
unreasonable things. Let's talk about this. How could someone get one of those decks if they really want one?
Oh, how would they get one of those decks if they really want
Are they
one?
commercially available on the market?
They're currently only available to CC members, Conjuror Community Club
There
members.
you go. Join Conjuror Community.
But I'll tell you, you know, we have a couple free things and interesting things that we brought with us today, which can make that actually pretty easy to do. I sort of feel like we were talking about the paper engine. We always knew we were going to talk about that. During that time, I lectured the world and I had some great tricks. And
let me tell you, that's a great lecture. Are you going to hold on a second? Are you going to do a trick?
I was going to do a trick.
Here we go.
Do you want to make sure that I was
hold on a second? Yeah, I do. You know what? No tricks. I ban you from the tricks, sir. No, I'm just kidding. You go ahead and do
it. I don't know how to do tricks anymore. Oh, goodness. I just got a text. I'm being seen on the internet. My parents want to know, you know, what's happening. Is it everything okay? Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do the simple version. I'm going to take the 4 kings. I hate this 4 king trick. And I'm going to place them in my pocket. Watch careful, okay? Watch careful as you dare. Keep your eye on them. And I'm going to...
What?
Make all the kings.
Wow.
And jump back to my pocket.
The word clean comes to mind.
It is clean. It ends clean. And it's super practical and powerful. And it was the first trick that Theory 11 ever released.
Look at this unsolicited testimony in the comments. I use panic every show.
You know,
wait, was this a Theory 11 release at first? Did you just say that?
First Theory 11 release.
The very first one, huh?
You should tell people, Doug, about your special Doug Panic promotion, because now's definitely the time to tell them. It's a gift. It is a good gift. Doug, you know, when Doug came to CC, we said, you got to do really nice things for CC club members. And he was like, all right. But now I came on the Doug show and Doug said, hey, buddy, can we do something nice for the Doug people? And I was like, we should. Did you give me a thumb down?
We were talking about, because, you know, I'm a giver, right? So I like to give things away, obviously. And you were like, what about this idea? And I was like, that's a great idea. So it's $10 for Panic. It's a $30 trick. You give some bonuses with this purchase. And if you guys want to have a trick cheap, Panic is as good as it gets for $10. There's a link in the description of this video. I suggest you buy it.
It's a deal. You get not only the whole Wayne Houchin Panic training, but you actually get either 2 or 3 of the other routines I use it with in professional close-up, which I think are really good. I'm
now realizing I might need to buy this deal. I don't have the Wayne Houchin training, damn it.
And it's a $30 trick. And so if you type Doug, I don't know if the link has got it currently filled in.
I think it does. I clicked it once, but I kind of was hoping to just talk you into a free Panic or something, you know. I know a guy who knows the guy.
For you, you might know the guy. Yeah, it's true. But the point is actually it's a $30 trick, and this is a very nice deal. And on all the stuff and all the stuffing and the accoutrements, and I'll tell you, you can carry it anytime. If you do card magic, it is, well, as the comments show, this is really hands down. It's a killer. It's a killer.
It is. I mean, the trick when you released it was hot, and no surprise why. It's practical, it's easy, it's visual, and like you said, it could be a lot of different things.
Doug, it is so exciting to see how much inspiring you're doing for all these folks. Let me just say, folks, if you want to be interested in those cards and things, one of the fastest ways is if you pick up Panic, you'll get offers to join CC, try CC out for $1, stuff like that. After you join CC,
You offered another link in your email. I put that up as well. You're currently starting.
This is very exciting. I mean,
Yeah,
this
what are
is,
you doing right now?
This is the main event, right? This is all happening. So next week we are opening up registration for the 3M 2023 class. It's the first time we've run 3M since COVID started. Now, that means we've got, now 3M owners get the course for life. So we have literally 300 3M alumni right now who are excited to come back and reboot and take the course with all of our new participants. So it's going to be a very exciting time because everyone's going to get to revisit the misdirection skills and all of the core stuff that 3M is so good at helping people develop in ways that they don't really get from even the books. So here's how it works. Now, registration is going to open up next week. And the class meets for about 7 weeks. And of course, you get lifetime.
Is this an online?
It's an online portal, and there's an untold amount of material, but there's 7 weeks to the core training program. You have the thing for life because there's going to be a lot of magic and things that you're going to want to have access to for a long time,
right,
in addition to joining us successive times. In addition, you also get a ticket for you and your spouse to the next CC Summit with it. So for anyone who already knows how much fun that is, it's kind of like a no-brainer. And there's a 60-day money-back guarantee on the course, but that's not even the most important thing.
Well, that's a good deal.
The best deal is free because right now, in honor of this, for the rest of this week and into next week, we have just put out our 3 free video course, The Master Secret, which is packed with 3M secrets that you can start using right away. It's going to share with you what I call the Master Secret, which is the big secret that lets people work at magic for 20 and 30 years and never get anywhere.
Wait a minute. Why didn't you tell me this 20 years ago? Where were you 20 years ago, man?
I didn't know it 20 years ago. I was still putting it together. And
so you really feel there's a master secret you have for your people. You figured it, and actually that wouldn't surprise me. I've seen you lecture. I've seen you teach. I know you know things and you know how to teach it, but
it's true. Well, so you see the next what is the actual secret? Hey, well, I wasn't going to be sure. I'll tell you the basic principle of the master secret.
Okay then.
If you want, if I have permission to expose the idea. The
yes,
second
I do want that.
There's a lot of the things in this free course, a lot of value that you'll be able to understand and start using. In addition to Master Secret, you also get introduced to a lot of the tools that we use to help you take advantage of that Master Secret. So I'm going to now, I think you should watch The Secret. So Doug, have you given them the link to the Master Secret?
It's in the description. Go watch that. Yeah.
Go sign up for that. But I'll give it to you the shortest version so you can understand that it's worth listening to, is that most of us, whether we know it or not, we start out in magic and we spend out, and this is how the books tell it to us, is we think about it as slight trick. It's like 50% trick, 50% slight. We don't mean to do that to it, but we sort of do that to it. Now, over time, we learn about other elements like sleights and misdirection and presentation and performance. And all of a sudden it's sleights and misdirection, structure, and say they got 20% for all of them, 5 elements. And that's how we think about it. We don't mean to, but that's kind of how it works. But the big secret is that if we were to take all of those elements and we were to divide all of our attention to them individually, the equal amount to all of them, imagine that being like a school class where you did all these 5 areas, all of your energy, and then found out that altogether they were worth only 50% of your grade. The other 50%, you didn't even know what it was being graded on. It means that you could work as hard as you're working on sleights and misdirection and structure and presentation and performance, and it's still worth 50% of your grade, and that's a D or an E, right? The big secret, the master secret, is knowing what that other 50% is. And that is called, what I like to call is ICE. That's the integrating of those core elements. So integrating the elements is about how you take simple approaches to the technique, simple approaches to the structure and the presentation and the performance, and you build them to work from the very beginning, instead of sort of having them each become interesting to you when they do naturally as the years go on.
Right.
You master plan them from the beginning so that they work together. That's what takes all of those efforts and have them work.
That is some high level thinking, my friend.
And it's been mind blowing for a lot of the folks.
Is this like a process you developed for your personal development, or is did you just kind of reflect on?
I learned it when I started teaching online.
Mm-hmm.
In 2010, I thought it was going to be a lot of guys who wanted to learn the half pass, but it turned out it was a lot of guys that just had never met a person willing to teach magic online before. And what I discovered is that a lot of the things that you and I had to learn out of painful trial and error over many, many years, a lot of it can be made easier. A lot of it can be made cooler and faster if you have a good teacher who knows how to help you do that from the very beginning.
Boy, if you're able to tell people how to transition from, to get their mind off the sleight or the tricks and to take all of those elements that are important, and even getting that D is hard, right? Like getting to that level is hard. And you're suggesting there's a whole nother half of the universe that we might not have be acknowledging. Interesting.
I would say it's been years. We probably need to update the Miracle Magic series. But the important thing is for this next 5 days until we open the registration for the 3M 2023 coaching program, I believe next Monday, you can sign up for it now and you'll be able to watch parts 1 and 2 by tomorrow. And you'll be able to get a lot of value just out of the free course. And that's without needing to necessarily sign up for the advanced coaching.
Right. You can just go watch the videos and
you're
check
going to learn
it out.
about the alpha class effects. You're going to learn about the effect compass. You're going to learn what a micro move is and what attention jacking is. And, I'm sharing my whole toolbox there.
Attention jacking.
Attention jacking. So that's a pretty heavyweight word.
Is that misdirection?
Well, that's a word for it. But if you think about it, you know how we have all kinds of misdirection?
Yeah.
There's time misdirection, and then there's look over, major look misdirection. Right. Then there's that wonderful kind of misdirection we learned from working at Magic Masters, where I say, "Hey, can I borrow $1? Hey, can I borrow a quarter?" And while can I borrow a quarter? That's important. That's first. And then they borrow the quarter, and can I borrow $100 bill? And everyone looks up, and you just put the quarter down, right? That's structural misdirection. And if you were like me, when I was a young man, I was able to do that magic because it had such powerful structural misdirection. Where it got hard for me was when I didn't have such clear structural misdirection, and I had to learn how to do what the Ramsey book says. I have to learn how to look at your eyes, sort of hijack your stream of attention, carry it to this coin, right? Look at yours, bring it back to this coin. You, sir, have to watch back to this coin. Ooh, my wand, back to this coin.
That's right, y'all. Aaron Fisher does coin magic too.
Well, I teach it because it's the best way to sort of start to understand.
You get it. That was lovely.
Attention jacking is what we call that connection of open and in-transit actions, which is really hard to say in an easy, helpful way. We jack into the attention stream and we teach you how to manipulate it from moment to moment throughout the magic. And to do that, all we're doing is, and this is what you'll discover in the effect compass, which is also taught in the second part of the free course. We're teaching you how to line up that attention jacking with the structure of the trick above and the technique of the trick below. So we have really very fundamental principles, and one of them is we call them micro moves. Remember how Roger Klaus used to talk about half moves?
First thing I thought of when you said micro move, breaking the moves. Talk about the half move for a second. What's the concept?
Well, Roger, magicians have a hard time getting caught when they're doing passes and things. They get caught, and the reason they get caught is because lots of times they do moves and their hands are together for too long. Whether you're folding up a bill, if something's supposed to take this long, but it takes that long,
right.
that extra beat
Mm-hmm.
is when you get screwed. So when we're teaching you at 3M, when we're saying, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, we're doing a very simple exercise of moving our attention to the people and back to the object. And we're conditioning all the different people to come back to the object. And we're setting a sort of a tempo to that. And ultimately, we're going to break that tempo. We're going to say, I've got my trusty wand here, right? We've been doing that. We're weaving the audience's attention back and forth to the object. Then we're going to shift our gaze to a new object and back to the first one, back to the people. When we do it that way, and 3M is all filled with exercises that make learning that process much easier than it's ever been before. And that's really what it's all about.
Let's take a pause here, because I think a lot of viewers, and not maybe the hardcore tuned in for the live stream, but some guys watching this a year from now maybe might not realize how deep our art can get. I think we just saw about 1 minute of, how deep it can get. And you're just suggesting this is just dipping your toe in the pond of one of the many things that you discuss on your training.
You want to see a trick?
I think we've talked enough theory, and man, I know I do. I got to see some of these beforehand. You ready to do a trick?
Did I break it? I'm sorry. I hope I didn't break it.
No, let's do magic. Magic time.
I'm just going to do a couple quick tricks.
A couple, then. Y'all.
All right.
Hey, Aaron Fisher's here. Oh, he's going to do this thing.
Maybe not. Maybe I'll change my mind.
I'm not going to say any more words.
If you have cards, maybe you should shuffle your cards.
Wait, you want me to get involved?
You don't have to. You're cool.
I mean,
say
I got
stop.
Cards here.
Say stop. Say stop.
Okay, stop.
You've got a good setup. Don't show me up. I'm not a pro.
Well, that's how I shuffle. Stop.
All right. Look at the card.
Got it.
I'm going to take that card. I'm going to stick it in the middle of the deck like so. Okay? Now, watch carefully. I'm going to give those cards a little rotation. And what you're going to see is one card and only one card turn face up in the deck. Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Right. Now, if you were here, I would have you pinch that card. Okay? And I would actually say I was going to make that same thing happen. I'm going to make that card flip over in the deck, right? So the cards go in one way, the decks go in the other.
Right.
And I'm going to do that whole thing while you're holding on to the card. Now, if you think about it, that's insane.
It's daunting.
But just pretend that you're actually pinching that card.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to create this illusion. It's actually just an illusion. I don't want to make a joke about it, but if you watch carefully, you'll see it looks like an illusion now. See? Now the card's face up.
I think the first method's better.
But if I do the magic, it's not just an illusion. It really, really happens.
Okay, then. That's magic. That counts.
That's a start, right?
What do they do on Conjuror Community? Put some ones in the chat.
That's what they do. We prefer the
chat.
digits that you can hear, but even better, the digits that fold. Doug, here's what I want you to do. Can you see all these cards?
I can see them.
You can see them? I mean, I'm not doing it fancy these days. Okay.
Good, man.
Say stop.
Stop.
That one?
It's good.
All right. Call that card out to everyone. Make sure they all know what it is.
6 of Hearts is the name of the card.
Okay. So would you be impressed, people, if I could tell you the name of your card?
I just said the name, Aaron.
That's why the answer is no. I wouldn't be that impressed.
Not impressive at all.
Do another trick. Okay. I'll do a different trick. I'm going to try and hold them so they're not too washed out. Look at that. I'm going to wave my hand over the card and it'll turn face up.
Ooh.
And if you keep watching, the entire deck turns.
Sweetness.
Face down.
Oh my. This is paper engine material, correct? That is a trick from the book, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the first two are tricks from the paper engine, which have gone through some, iterations over the years. But yeah,
The initial reverse of a single card, was that the half pass? Was that a center reverse? Would you
yeah. I mean,
would you mind just doing?
Let me just show you like this, though.
Okay.
I'm just going to try a little something different this time. I'm going to take these 4 cards and I'm going to place 4 different cards in 4 different parts of the deck. So if you think about it, 4 different kings going face up in 4 different parts of the deck. Now, if you were here, I would have you push them all the way
Dude,
flush.
I know you're already done. It hurts my soul.
Look at that. You did that. And when that happens, look at this. I'm going to spread through, and now one's face down. Now 2's face down. Now 3's face down. Now 4's face down. So if
you waited for the magic, you're getting it now. Those of you that were patient, congratulations. We're getting the work. Holy cow, Aaron. What was that?
Did that count as patience?
Wow.
I'm just trying to be helpful. Let me see here. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. If I place these in like so, there's so many ways to do it, If I just place these in like so, face down this time. But you would go. See, if this were real life, I would be taking them from you one at a time. One at a time.
I see.
One at a time from your hand.
Yes.
One at a time from your hand. Sort of vamping the way we used to do when I used to get to visit you in the Big Easy. You remember, don't you?
Oh, I remember those days quite well.
They're going to go in there. And I would have you push them flush. Okay? Now, here's what we would do this time. We're going to leave them that way. We're going to leave them face down in the big muddy, so to speak. Watch carefully if you would. I've got 1 card face up there, but if you keep watching, I'll give these a spin. And they all, I don't know what happened there, turn face up, except for the few at the top.
That was a 98% miracle. I know all about those.
98% miracle. These ones, you know what happened to these ones? These weren't even supposed to be there.
Oh, of course.
These are the ones I keep here and here.
Bam.
They're not supposed to end up in the main.
That's how the pros roll, man. We just keep rolling.
You just have to keep trucking sometimes. And
Can we give a clue of it wasn't just a move. What was that's several million things going on at once. Can you sum it up quickly, maybe?
I mean, I want to. I'm not trying to be. What's the word?
Is this sub rosa information?
No, not at all. I just want to be productive in what I say.
Okay.
If that makes
Thank you for that
sense. In fact, when I think about this trick, pardon me. Hey, Doug.
Talk to me. Yes, sir. What?
What's the actual? Have you ever seen a slow motion? One of these things in slow motion? I did the out jog thing for you. I tried to. And I'd like to try it again. But I don't know. Should I use a king or should I just use this one?
Nope, we don't allow the 9 of diamonds on this stream.
It's the curse of Ireland. Yeah.
Thanks, Doug.
No, the curse of Scotland. It's like, that's Paul Wilson. How about the Jack of Spades?
That's better.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the Jack of Spades and I'm going to, God, I hope I don't end up with another 98% miracle here. I'm actually getting terrified of it. Okay, here we go. So here's what we got. A Jack way face down in the deck.
Yep.
Just like I told you, if you were really here, I would have you pinch onto it. Okay. I would give a little riffle and you would see it move up in the deck.
Okay, then. Yeah.
You would really see it, right? So like this time, I would want to make it a little bit higher so you could really see it if you were really here.
Wow.
You would want it to go up just a little bit. Because you're holding on to the card and you deserve
the
whole effect. You can see it, right?
Soft.
You saw the light. Now look here. The best one is, can you bring it to the top? And of course, we bring it to the top. But the fact of the matter is, he prefers the bottom with the 9 of diamonds. He started on the bottom.
Wow. Yeah.
He likes it there.
Ah.
He likes it there.
Wow.
So I wanted to show you maybe two more quickies, just the ones that my teacher, Jack Bergman, loved. If you've got time for one or two more. Are we having fun? Are we doing
Nah, I'm just going to cut you off and make everyone wish that I'd let you keep going. Who wants to see more card tricks? Can you please do that Berman one? Is that?
Yeah, I want to do a couple.
Okay.
The ones we said.
I'm just getting picky now that you're ready to work a little.
Yeah. Well, no, definitely. I just want to make sure everyone's got the link to go see the Master Secret. It's happening.
Look, Aaron's busting it out. Y'all go click those links. All right.
Because we're giving away Panic for the $10, and come on into the club and you'll get the playing cards and all, but get yourself Panic and watch the free course and leave a comment.
For sure, do that. I've seen the free teachings you offer. It's value, just like you were talking to us today. The really important secrets are there. And if you don't want to join, fine. You can get some for free. You got a couple days to do that.
I promise that if it would make me nothing happier than if you say, I came over, Doug shared the secret with me. Just comment underneath the video and let me know if it was helpful to you. I would really love to know. That's all, my only request. And I will now do the magic that Doug wants me to do. Okay. So this was one of the tricks that my teacher shared with me when I was a kid. He would take 2 kings and he'd place them near the bottom. And he would say, go ahead, say stop near the top.
Stop.
Near the top. And that's your card. And he would ask me to look at it and remember it. And then he would ask me to guess how many cards were between that card and then the red kings way down there.
17.
And that's a good guess, but he wanted it to be the world's fastest card trick. And so he spread them quickly. One card was between the 2 immediately, and that was your card.
So, yeah, I can't imagine a sandwich trick looking much better than that.
No.
Is that a Jack Bergman effect?
That itself is, in fact, a Jack Bergman trick.
And you consider Jack one of your teachers, a mentor?
Jack was my teacher.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you another thing. Here, say stop here.
Stop.
You're really bringing out the old stuff in me this week.
I love this.
This is the 4 of spades. I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't know that.
Okay, I get it.
Look at
Normally
your card.
The black mirror is
Make
not
sure you
there
know what that is. All right, now you examine those kings. Make sure that they're normal. Make sure.
Is this where I would do this and like give you some
That's
eyeball misdirection?
No, you would just look.
Okay,
but you're not here, and I
get it, man. I face this black mirror daily. It's not a friend.
I'm going to turn one face up. I'm going to leave one face down. One face up, one face down. One face down, one face up. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to give these cards a little squeeze like that. And it leaves down there. Comes all the way up to the top.
Wow.
And he brings with it your card.
Nice.
So that's fun. So that's another sandwich. But, Jack's is better. Now, Jack also did something he liked to call the world's most dangerous card trick. Say stop.
Stop.
Look at the card.
Yep.
Make sure you know what it is, because this is the world's most dangerous card trick. Do you know why it's the most dangerous card trick?
Why is that, sir?
Because it's not sorcery. It's surgery.
I love it. Greg Gibson does that trick.
Greg Gibson taught me that trick.
Did Greg Gibson teach you that trick?
Weren't we not Magic Masters, man?
Oh, Greg Gibson.
My old friend.
That's a great piece of card magic, right? How often do you get that stand-up visual kind of, that's a Jack Bergman trick, is that right?
Absolutely.
Is this work published? I know
I've got handlings of some of it inside the community.
All right. All right.
Hey, let me, if you wanted to see that one last one, Jack's favorite one that I know.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
I really liked depth perception. There might be one more I can eke out, but I'm really taking my life into my hands if I do. Okay.
Okay, then. I understand.
2 mates going out for beers. Okay. Say stop. Now, here's the thing. This is called depth perception. How
Depth perception,
good is your depth perception?
not tilt.
You know, I'm happy to be learning so much more about my repertoire. I've forgotten all these tricks I can do. Say stop.
You'll have to come back for 3 hours and remember the rest of them.
Say stop.
Say stop.
Look at that block.
Yeah.
Try and remember how many that is, but don't say anything.
Okay, then.
Okay. And I'm going to leave one of the kings where you said stop. Now you're going to try and say stop at the exact same place. This is the hard part.
Stop. Stop.
Pretty close. Now, good news is nailing it isn't what the trick is about. The game is to guess how many cards are in between the tours and how close was your guess.
3.
Different. Let's see. What if your guess was a whole lot better?
That's just crazy town.
Than that.
Now you're going to need to show there's only 2 kings in this deck. Otherwise, everyone's going to say you have a deck of kings.
Oh, because everyone's going to think that I have it. So I have to show all the cards.
Sickening now. All right. That's just not right.
And some people think it's like Coveney, right? If I don't turn the deck over, but they're just now face down.
Oh, baby.
That's the kind of thing that we're talking about.
All right. Look, I'm cutting you off there, man.
So you've had enough of me?
Well, here's the thing. We hit an hour. That was just amazeballs. Do you feel like you have a closer after that craziness?
Here's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to take these 2 kings and I'm just going to give them a little shake. And then they're jokers.
Whoa.
And that's enough to make me happy. So I'll take my jokers.
Oh.
No, it's all right. I keep them in here for later.
I'm going to be using that hat bit on the street this weekend.
I can't believe you never used it before.
I don't take off my hat when I work. I sweat so much. It's a freaking mess if I take my hat off. I carry a second hat. Maybe I'll use that.
One day we'll talk about highly absorbent opportunities. Hey,
Jason?
Lieb. Been a long time, Lieb.
Yeah, let me say hello to all the Floridians. I hope y'all are hanging tough. Gary, I know you're out there. I hope the storm is treating you as kindly as it can.
Dad, Mom.
Are you folks in Florida?
Yeah, they're right in the middle.
Well, hang tough, y'all. So, yeah, we did an hour. It was great. The people that stayed through the theory and the work got rewarded at the end of that little blast of magic. And it was nice even backstage hearing your enthusiasm to come on here and share some of the work and do some things. I love that we can have men that have been in our art for 30 years, like a kidney candy store, right? About it.
Well, that's what we love so much about CC is Alex and Adam and I, we get to play and we're getting a lot more fun out of Magic than we were at all times during that last period, you know? Like I'm playing with you. We're playing here. I mean, I hope I did a good job for you, Doug. I know we didn't plan to have it go so long, but I had so much fun.
Look, I know when you said, yeah, I'd like to do this, I knew it would just be, all we'd have to do is just hang out and just be us enjoying ourselves. And we'll do it again anytime you feel like it, man. Just say, hey, Doug, I'd like to come, hang out. Well, if you want to come back here, it's an open invite anytime.
I love it. I just hope it got a good response for your folks, and we'll find out because, I'm going to be very curious to find out if any of the folks got some value out of things.
So, yeah, y'all leave some algorithm appeasement. Let us know if any of this information interested you. If you have any questions, if you're live here now and have a question, Aaron's here. You can ask it before we say goodbye. We'll give you a couple more minutes to get any Q&As in.
Now is the time. And I'm asking, and also if anyone has taken that link and signed up already, you're probably already in the portal page. It's already going. It's actually really exciting.
Here's a question I can answer. John, I do plan to be out in the French Quarter this weekend, so tell your sister to look for me at St. Peter and Decatur.
It's a good intersection.
That's where the hot stuff happens.
It's a very good intersection.
So the paper engine will be available widespread once that re-release happens.
Yes,
correct?
When that re-release happens, we will let everybody on our list know about it. And
do you see it pop up on eBay? Is this a book people can find?
Yeah, a couple $100. But
yeah, it's a valuable.
You can also buy a PDF from my website right now.
Do you have a PDF version?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's a
So
good
anyone
option.
who
then.
actually wants the information, they can, And just to let everybody know, we expect to be taking down that panic promotion in about a week or so. So if you're interested in it, it's Doug's special promotion. You have to get in there.
So
and
this
do
deal
it.
with me is a time sensitive thing. Y'all want a cheap panic
they
for
all are.
$10? Go
They
buy
all
that
are.
thing.
They all are. So if you want it, get it.
You know, there's so much crap you can buy in the modern magic market, and this is not that. If you don't have panic, and if you're a magic purchaser, you're doing it wrong. Just buy panic for $10.
And we're going to limit you to like 2 purchases a person, but that's not so bad.
Well, that makes sense because $10 is like cheaper than wholesale. Magic wholesale is like 60%, and you're selling it for 33%.
Doug will tell you this is a outreach for us. We do this to make new friends because this is how we connect with the people who end up enjoying what we do. And Doug, I am such a big fan of yours. I just want you to know I'm honored to be back anytime you'll have me.
Cool. Well, then I'll hold you to that one day.
Who knows? Maybe one day soon.
All right. I don't think we're having any questions come in. Yeah, go look up Seek and Destroy if you have Aaron's work, or if you haven't, that's a good one. And we always want the giveaways. I'll think of something to give you all next time. But this was all about the info, the love, and then we got a bonus of a little Razzmatazz card show. Thanks again, Aaron.
Yeah, and give away a panic next week. Mwah.
Hey, look.
Yes.
You send me a panic and I'll give it away. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Can we get a panic for my people?
I would love to just yes.
Look. Leave a comment on this video. I'll pick someone and we'll get you a panic. Someone from the viewership will get one. I put you on the spot there, but thanks for saying yes.
Leave a comment on my video and you'll get other beautiful things. Mwah.
There we go. Go share some love all around the internet. Thanks again for being a part of the stream, Aaron. Thanks to everyone for your time, your attention, your energy. I'll see you guys on the next one. It'll probably be next Wednesday, and that's going to be a ciao for now. Au revoir.